Jonathan Edwards, 1703 to 1758, had professional setbacks in his career, the greatest of which was when his church fired him. Edwards, America's greatest theologian, was fired by the Church of Northampton, related to a controversy in 1750 of communion, the Lord's Supper, and who should be admitted to it. He believed the doctrine that the Lord's Supper is not a cause for regeneration and that communicants should be professing Protestants. He lost his job. He was voted out. For 23 years, he served the Church of Northampton faithfully as their pastor, and they voted him out, not just by a majority, but by a large majority. The people rejected him. He was rejected professionally. Well, what happened to Jonathan Edwards? Well, he had a few opportunities. A couple in Scotland. Not much was opening up in the colonies, and so Edwards took a job. It was probably considered a demotion. He accepted a calling to the Stockbridge missionary community, which was on the frontier. It was a dangerous place, on the edge of the wild, and he served a much smaller congregation, which included some English and quite a few of the Native American Indians from the Mohican tribe. By all means, Edwards got fired and accepted a demotion. However, from a spiritual perspective, things looked different, for it was during this time in Stockbridge that Edwards was to write some of his best works. This included some of the most important pieces he ever wrote, such as Freedom of the Will, The Nature of True Virtue, his masterpiece on the doctrine of original sin. These all came out of a very difficult period in his life when he had been fired, and yet it lifted him into greatness as a philosopher, as a theologian, and even as a pastor. Some people say that his best sermons were to the people of Stockbridge because they were simpler and clearer, and he could speak from the heart rather than what he had to deliver at Northampton. At Northampton, he gave highly intellectual sermons which required rigorous skill and precision. So at Stockbridge, he was freed up to do the things that God really wanted him to do, which was to do these incredible works of philosophy and theology. And this would not have happened unless he got fired.